Welcome to the fantasy audiobook, Metropolis. I am a full-time professional, attracting worldwide attention. Chapter 41. The hospital is not far from the hotel, about 3 kilometers. Chen Zan was jogging all the way, and after a quarter of an hour, he was already outside the hospital. He glanced down at the message on the paper, the 1066 bed in the inpatient department. Find the inpatient department and take the elevator to the 10th floor. Soon, the location of room 1066 was found. This is a triple room with 1066 in the innermost position by the window. There was a middle-aged woman lying on the bed, and the order was a middle-aged man in his 40s named Lu Dahai. Chen Zan took the food and walked over. Hello, your takeaway is here. Hey, okay, thank you. Lu Dahai took it over. I will trouble you to cook for the big evening. It's really troublesome. It's okay. Chen Zan smiled, and turned around to leave, just as there was a nurse rounding the ward. Seeing Chen Zan, the little nurse was stunned for a moment, and said with some uncertainty, Brother Chen. Chen Zan looked at her, the little nurse's big eyes suddenly lit up. It's really Brother Chen. She walked up quickly, a little excited. Brother Chen, I watch your live broadcast every day. We ordered your rice bowl 2 days ago. Oh, thank you. Chen Zan's face was also a little red. Although he knew he was very hot, he was still a little uncomfortable when someone recognized him in real life. Puff, is this Brother Chen's little fan? How do I feel that Brother Chen is more shy than the nurse? Brother Chen will be shy. I thought Brother Chen was a very unrestrained man. On the other side, Lu Dahai had already opened the lunchbox of pork rib soup, and a strong scent came to his nose. He closed his eyes with an expression of enjoyment. It smells so good. All the gluttons in Lu Dahai's belly were hooked out, and the women on the bed were swallowed by the smell. Even the patients and family members in the next ward were attracted by the smell. It smells so good. The man in the next hospital bed asked, Lao Lu, what are you? Why is it so sweet? Before Lu Dahai could speak, the young nurse suddenly asked, is this Brother Chen doing it? Chen Zan hummed, and the little nurse said, Uncle Lu, you have a good taste. Brother Chen's cooking skills are not so good. You don't know how many people line up in his restaurant every day. Lu Dahai was surprised. The business is so good. Are you queuing? The little nurse said, if you have a taste of it, you know that this cooking skill is worth queuing. It's just that Brother Chen's cooking skill is so good that he didn't have time to make the takeout. You could still get the toppings from Brother Chen before. I can't eat it now. The little nurse has become Chen Zan's little fan, and she spontaneously promotes Chen Zan, and Chen Zan is embarrassed to be on the sidelines. Smell good. Suddenly, a weak female voice sounded from the hospital bed by the door. And at the moment this sound rang, the middle-aged man beside the hospital bed shook his whole body like a lightning strike. The middle-aged man's lips trembled slightly, and he looked at the pale, very weak girl on the bed with some disbelief. Xiao, what did you say? That taste is so fragrant, I want to eat it too. The girl named Xiao looked at the pork rib soup in Lu Dahai's hands. A shy blush rose on her pale face, as if she wanted to eat other people's food. It's a shameful thing. And after Xiao said this, the middle-aged man's eyes were full of fatigue, and his eyes were red, and tears couldn't help streaming out. He immediately stood up and walked towards Lu Dahai. Brother Lu, I have something to trouble you. What's up, Xiao Zhou, what do you say? Xiao. She just smelled the soup and said she was hungry and wanted to drink soup. Hey, what happened to me? Go get a bowl and one will pour you a bowl. Thank you, Brother Lu, thank you. The middle-aged man kept bowing and thanking. Standing in the ward, Chen Zan watched all this scene, and he was very puzzled. This soup is delicious. He knows in his heart that no one can refuse this bowl of soup. But no matter how delicious it is, it won't be like this. As for, it's just a bowl of soup. It's not that it's really not that. I don't know what to say. It's not easy for my little sister to drink soup. Let Brother Chen cook a pot for you. Netizens are also quite speechless. However, at this moment, the little nurse seemed to have just reacted, with a pair of beautiful big eyes looking at Xiao who was sitting on the hospital bed, her eyes rounded. In the next second, she walked to the hospital bed in a few steps, and asked with great uncertainty, what did you just say? Xiao Xiao blushed and lowered her head, with an embarrassed look on her face. At this time, her father had already walked back with a bowl of soup with a smile and tears on his face, but his tone was unstoppable joy. "Nurse, my daughter just said she was hungry. She said she wants to eat." The nurse couldn't believe it. Is this true? Really? The middle-aged man showed the soup in his hand. "Look, this soup is delicious, no wonder Xiao Xiao wants to drink it." "Xiao Xiao, come, drink slowly." The middle-aged man grabbed the spoon, took a spoonful of pork rib soup, and handed it to her mouth. Xiao Xiao's lips were a little dry, but at this moment, she couldn't wait to drink the soup from the spoon. Seeing this scene, the trace of worry hidden in the man's eyes completely disappeared without a trace. "Drink slowly, and what else?" The nurse opened her mouth slightly and said nothing. She turned around and walked out quickly, shouting to the office as she walked, "Drive Zhang, Zhou Xiao Xiao in bed 1068 has eaten." As for Chen Zan, still stunned, with a dazed and bewildered expression. But soon, he knew what had happened. When the little nurse came back again, a doctor and several other nurses were watching the little girl. Chen Zan walked over and asked, "This little girl, what's the disease?" "Anorexia," the little nurse said. "Very serious anorexia, with a mortality rate of 25%. She hasn't eaten for 5 days, what she vomits and what she eats, these days are maintained by infusion of nutrient solution. I didn't expect that today suddenly I ate something. I thought I had hallucinations just now. Brother Chen, the soup you stewed is so powerful that even patients with anorexia can speak. This is a medical miracle." Anorexia. Netizens were stunned when they heard what the little nurse said. How can anorexia eat? Wait, is the mortality rate of anorexia so high? It's so high. Anyway, it's a terrifying disease. What's even more terrifying is, the anorexic patient broke the defense in front of Brother Chen's rib soup. Spare rib soup, always dripping. I have a hunch that the hot search on Weibo tomorrow will be Chen Jie again. Don't have a hunch, you don't need tomorrow at all, you will have the top spot tonight. In the program group, Wu Tong looked incredible when he learned of the situation. Patients with anorexia, are they cured by Chen Zan's soup? Is this real? It must be true. Wu General Li nodded. This is the hospital, how can you cheat? Zhang Ting said. I can bear it when the king of big stomach orders, but now I can't help it. I really want to try Chen Zan's cooking skills and wonder how good his dishes are. Eat. This sentence speaks to everyone's heart. Not only him, but several observers, and netizens also think so. They want to know how delicious Chen Zan's dishes are, so that all patients with anorexia can break through. Chen Zan stood by the bed, looking at Xiao Xiao who was drinking the fragrance. A little smile appeared on his face. For him, the food he cooked can make anorexic patients start to eat, which is also a precious recognition for him. Dr. Zhang was observing from the side, and only then asked some questions when she finished drinking a bowl of soup. After inquiring, he discovered that Xiao Xiao was only interested in this soup, and still couldn't take any interest in other foods. Simply put, it was this bowl of soup that saved Xiao Xiao. Brother Lu, which store is this soup? Xiao Xiao's father asked anxiously. Old Lu pointed to Chen Zan. Oh, that's the soup this young man stewed. When the words were over, everyone in the ward looked over. Xiao Xiao's father hurried over. Hello, little brother, I am Xiao Xiao's father, may I ask, can your restaurant help me make some dishes now? No problem, Chen Zan responded. Although he is off work now, he has a clear priority. Well, I'll call you to keep it. During the hospitalization, if she wants to eat, you can call me, and I will bring it to you when I'm ready. Hey, thank you so much, thank you, thank you. The middle-aged man kept thanking him. Because of his daughter's anorexia, he has not had a good night's sleep for several days. After being transferred to several hospitals, all the doctors were helpless and could not come up with a good solution. Now, there was finally hope, and he felt that a heavy stone in his heart had disappeared immediately. Chen Zan asked about it, asked Xiao Xiao a few dishes, then turned around and left. After he left, the doctor found out after inquiring that Chen Zan was the challenger of, into the profession, who was in the fire these days. Brother Chen, are you going back to cook? It's so late. Little master, I rewarded a Buddha who jumped over the wall and left a message. Chen Jie will buy some Red Bull later. Macho rewarded 10 Buddhas who jumped over the wall, and left a message, "The young man is really good. Brother Chen, get up later tomorrow. Sleep more tonight, and it's okay to be late tomorrow." The atmosphere in the live broadcast room is harmonious, and Chen Zan will not get up early tomorrow. Chen Zan called Li Amin on the road and said briefly. When he returned to the restaurant door was already open. Li Amin didn't sleep anymore, so he slapped Chen Zan on the side, and asked about the situation of the hospital by the way. After learning the specific situation, Li Amin didn't know what to say. Although he didn't know how serious anorexia was, the illness that even doctors could not do was solved by Chen Zan with a bowl of soup. This is so, it's a bit magical. Soon, the food was ready, and Chen Zan packed it and sent it to the hospital. The busy work is over, it is already 11 o'clock in the evening. Chen Zan is still full of energy, and insists not to take a taxi, just run with 2 legs. At this time, most of the other challengers have rested. When they habitually open Weibo or other apps like Shaking Sound before going to bed, they are desperate. The screen is full of news related to Chen Zan, and the top 10 in the hot search is almost occupied by Chen Zan alone. 50% of the shares. 1 million annual salary is rushing to send. 1 million buy a recipe. What else is this? A medical miracle. Even the official microblog of Jinling No. 1 hospital sent a special Weibo to thank Chen Zan. This group of challengers closed themselves on the spot. Especially these challengers who also choose chefs, they are the most desperate. Each profession has different requirements. But for the same chefs, their requirements are the same. They determined that after 1 month, Chen Zan's score must be passed. But they do not have this confidence. In the group, someone appeared. No. 11. How do I feel that there is a perversion among us? No. 20. To be honest, I have no confidence at all now. I want to quit the show. This is not fun at all. I feel that neither he nor I are the same species. No. 82. Is number 1 here? Show your head, let me touch the great god up close. Chen Zan returned home and fell asleep after a brief wash. When I got up early the next morning, I flipped through my phone while washing, only to see these chat records. Hundreds of chat records were all chatting around him. Across the screen, through these words, he could clearly feel the despair in the hearts of these challengers. After washing, Chen Zan went out to the hotel. On Weibo, since last night, Chen Zan has been extremely popular, and it continues to rise. The high salaries of major hotels are looking for hiring, which caused quite a stir on Weibo. This makes many people see a hope. It turns out that ordinary people can have such an opportunity as long as they work hard. Although it is difficult, at least, there are opportunities. In addition, it is the news of patients with anorexia. An anorexic patient broke his defenses because of Chen Zan's bowl of soup. This news directly overwhelmed other hot searches and steadily occupied the first place. When I came to the hotel, there was still a long dragon padded at the door. Compared with yesterday, there are more people in line today. After 2 days of fermentation, the fame of Li Jia Si Feng restaurant has completely started. When Chen Zan just arrived, these customers in line called his name and greeted him. Brother Chen is here, have you not eaten yet? First, fry yourself a plate of egg fried rice, and work when you are full. Real people are more handsome than on TV. He didn't even know him, but he was like an old friend who had known him for a long time. They watch Chen Zan's live broadcast every day and are no strangers to him. Walking into the hotel, the tables in the shop were already full, and the guests greeted Chen Zan. When he arrived at the back kitchen, Li Amin greeted, "Come on, Xiao Chen, eat noodles." What? Stop, eat quickly. Li Amin has experience today, knowing that if Chen Zan comes, he must be busy with fried rice for the guests first, and then settle his own breakfast. So the first thing after opening the door is to pinch the noodles and order the noodles 5 minutes before Chen Zan comes. Then I will eat first. Eat it. Chen Zan eats fast. A large bowl of noodles are eaten clean in less than 5 minutes. When eating noodles, he found that the restaurant had no side dishes, and the spicy oil was not spicy enough. There are many delicacies in Jinling. Pot stickers in Qijiawan, wontons from Wang's family, lao lumen in the south of the city, small boiled noodles in the north of the city, soup dumplings in the streets and alleys, roast duck. But no matter what snack it is, there is basically one thing inseparable. That is spicy oil. There is no standard for spicy oil in Jinling. In some stores, the chili oil is sweeter, while in others, just a few drops can make you ecstatic. Li Aiman's spicy oil is slightly salty. Chen Zan used to start fried rice. While frying rice, I was looking for it in Chef Buying Channel. Found it. Chen Zan's eyes lit up and saw what he wanted. Spicy oil formula, 1 million reputation value. Recipe for shredded pork with pickled vegetables, 1 million reputation value. In addition, there are various other side dishes. What dried radish, salted beans. Chen Zan bought them all in one go. I thought that I had so many prestige points, how could it be enough? But after I bought it, I discovered that, regardless of the prestige value, this chef purchase channel is a bottomless pit. There are thousands of recipes for the 8 major cuisines, as well as a variety of folk snacks, even the prestige value is not enough to fill them. After the purchase, Chen Zan did not rush to do it. It was the business to take care of the group of customers who came for breakfast first. At 8:30, breakfast is over. Li Aiman is going to buy vegetables. Chen Zan said, "Uncle Li, bring me 10 caddies of chili peppers and 5 caddies of dried chilies." "What do you want this for?" "Boil spicy oil." "What? Oh, by the way, buy another 10 caddies of duck fat." "Duck fat, right. It's not easy to buy, I have to ask." Chen Zan didn't rest after he explained the ingredients he needed. He dialed the phone number of his father. "Hey, Uncle Joe, what would Xiao Xiao want to eat in the morning? I'll take it to you." "Hey, Xiao Chen, are you awake? I thought you were still asleep, so I didn't call you." Uncle Joe was a little embarrassed. "She watched your show and said she wanted to eat the egg fried rice you made." "Okay, then I'll fry her a plate." "What do you eat, Uncle? You help me ask Uncle Lu if they want to eat it. If you eat, I will fry it together and send it over." After inquiring, Chen Zan started to fry rice. There are 3 patients in a ward, and there are 3 accompanying persons, for a total of 6 copies. After the frying, Chen Zan carried it and left. "Aunt Zhang, I'm going to the hospital to deliver food. Slow down on the road." "Understood." Chen Zan was riding a small electric donkey and disappeared. The breakfast was delivered, and when he came back, Li Aiman was also back. "Good luck today, I really bought duck oil." Li Aiman said, "Are you making duck oil and chili oil?" "Right." Chen Zan carried duck fat and chili, and ran over and started to make a fuss. The spicy oil boiled from duck oil is especially fragrant. In some places in Old Jinling, you can still buy duck oil sesame seed cakes, the taste is also a word, fragrant. Here Chen Zan is cooking spicy oil, and at the moment, at Jinling International Airport, several figures walked out of the airport. At the pickup point, a group of people had already been waiting here. They walked up quickly and said, "Mr. Liu, Chairman Wu." Those who got off the plane were from Wuzhou in Hunan Province and Lu Yuan from Beijing. Last night, the chefs of some local star-rated hotels in Jinling got the news, so they made time today to pick up the plane. "Ms. Liu, I have booked a hotel for you. Go to the hotel and rest for a while." "No, go directly," Lu Yuan said. "I slept on the plane, not tired." Wu Zhou also said, "Let's go directly." "That's okay." The local chefs naturally respect their opinions, and Lu Yuan has a very high status in the chef world, and his seniority is also high, and he is their predecessor. Out of the airport, get on the bus and go directly to Chen Zan's shop. And just when their front feet left, 2 young men, a man and a woman, also walked out of the airport. They stood outside the airport, looking up at the blue sky and white clouds, and said with a smile, "Jinling is a good place." The woman was a little tired and said, "I hope today's restaurant can bring me some surprises." The man said, "There must be a surprise. I specifically checked. The store we are going to today has exploded on the internet. Oh, by the way, I heard that the chef in this restaurant cooks even anorexia." The patients couldn't help leaving their saliva. "Let's go." They stopped a taxi and drove towards Li's private restaurant. This pair of young men and women have a very fashionable profession. Outsiders call it a gourmet. In fact, they are actually reviewers of the Michelin Guide. The Michelin Guide is a guidebook published by Michelin Tire for car owners in order to promote its own tires. There is a food recommendation in the guide, and a 3-star evaluation system is also activated. At that time, the purpose of adding this content was to promote people's enthusiasm for self-driving travel and to promote tire sales. As a result, I didn't expect that the evaluation of restaurants in various places in the guide became hot, even hotter than tires, and the fire was out of control. Today, Michelin has become the most authoritative food guide book in the world. These two are the two reviewers of the Michelin Guide Daxia jury. When I came to Jinling today, I rushed to the Ligia private restaurant. This restaurant is really hot recently. There were already many reviewers who wanted to come over, but in the end they both got this opportunity. If there is no accident in this trip, if the taste of this restaurant's dishes is really as exaggerated as described on the internet, then there should be a chance to get a star. Wow! In the back kitchen, Chen Zan poured the hot oil from the pot on the prepared chili. The crackling sound was very pleasing to the ears. There is no standard value for spicy oil preparation, basically there are so many ingredients. Sugar, soy sauce, fuel consumption, cooking wine, light soy sauce. It's just a matter of proportion. After purchasing the recipe, Chen Zan's control of the spicy oil is quite precise. Everyone looked at the spicy oil sizzling under the hot oil, and felt saliva running across the screen. Brother Chen, can you sell spicy oil? Can't eat Buddha jumping over the wall, I don't believe that I can't even eat spicy oil. Brother Chen, I want to buy spicy oil. I want to, leave me a copy. After pouring the hot oil, Chen Zan picked up the chopsticks and stirred vigorously. It's almost mixed, so let it cool down. He grabbed his phone and glanced at it. He saw the group of people who wanted to buy chili oil, and smiled. I haven't made much chili oil, so let's make more of it and sell it later. Today, I bought so much, and the consumption of spicy oil is huge. Someone eats a bowl of noodles and can't wait to pour all the spicy oil into it. With the spicy oil made by Chen Zan today, it can last a month. But the recipe is here. Even if he leaves and Li Amin follows the recipe, the taste will not change much. Looking at the posture of this group of netizens, when the spicy oil is on the market, the sales volume is not bad. The price is not fixed high, $10 a bottle, it is estimated that it can be sold out of stock. Xiao Chen, someone is looking for you. Zhang Quilin walked in suddenly and shouted loudly. Look for me. Chen Zan was stunned, thinking he had misheard. When he came to the hotel, Zhang Quilin lifted his chin. Here, just the table of guests, I will ask you when I enter the room. It should be your parents. Ah, Chen Zan didn't respond in a hurry. After traveling through this world, he has not seen the relatives and friends of the original owner. Therefore, I am not sure if this group of people is their relatives and elders. Staring at them for a few seconds, Chen Zan was sure that he was not a relative. I have no impression of them at all. He walked over and asked, Hello, who is looking for me? Hello, Mr. Chen. Lu Yuan and Wu Zhou immediately stood up and reached out to Chen Zan. Chen Zan shook hands one by one, looking curiously at the old man with pale hair and the middle-aged man beside him. Mr. Chen, please sit down. Lu Yuan was very polite. Chen Zan hasn't figured out the situation. Old sir, I still don't know what you are looking for with me. Let me introduce you. A man said. Mr. Chen, this is Lu Yuan, the former chef of state banquets, and is also the oldest generation in our chef industry. It's all false names, there is no qualification or disqualification. Lu Yuan waved his hand, he obviously didn't like to use seniority as an argument. Chen Zan was a little surprised. State banquet chef. Why did such a risk come to me? And it looked like it was a special trip to find myself. This one is Wu Zhou, the president of the Hunan Cuisine Association. He won the first place at the Foreign Chef Exchange meeting last year. Not surprisingly, he will be in charge of Hunan cuisine for this year's state banquet. Ms. Lu and Chairman Wu came here today to buy something from you. The man introduced them without delay. I'm going. Elder Lu actually came here in person. $1 million to buy recipes, are you serious? Otherwise, you thought it was a joke. If someone gave you a gift of 100,000 in the live broadcast room, would he make a joke with you? Wang Dao said. This old man Lu Yuan, I have watched his interview on CCTV. Li Lang said. I also have an impression, and I remember Da Sha on the tip of my tongue. The food guide back then was Mr. Liu. Concubine Lin said, "Is a recipe really so valuable?" A few people laughed and said nothing. The value of the recipes is certainly not so high. Although the two dishes have long been lost, Chen Zan broadcasted the two dishes completely. As long as they want, they can easily learn. But they did not do so, but still chose to buy it at a price of 1 million. This approach reflects the value of this dish on the one hand, and on the other hand it can be regarded as a kind of publicity. With only 1 million, you can let tens of millions of netizens know about this. Where can you find such a good thing? Of course, Lu Yuan didn't think so much. He mainly hopes that this reproduced dish will return to Lu cuisine in an upright way. Chen Zan sat down and introduced himself briefly. Lu Yuan said straightforwardly, "Mr. Chen, I am here this time to buy a dish." "What kind of dish?" Yang Do Jia. Lu Yuan said, "I am willing to buy this recipe for 1 million. Chen Zan blinked, thinking that there was a problem with his ears. 1 million. The difficulty of making stuffed bean curd is quite high, but for a chef, especially these special chefs, it is really not that high. Moreover, Chen Zan is not particularly difficult to speak. As long as they are not up there, Chen Zan is very willing to exchange cooking skills with them, and does not need to spend money to buy. Chen Zan really can't understand this point. "Mr. Chen, our Hunan Cuisine Association also hopes to buy recipes for angelfish. We are willing to pay 1 million. Wu Zhou said very seriously. Chen Zan, if they didn't come in front of them, if they were just talking on the phone, he would really feel that the other person was amusing himself. 1 million, just to buy a recipe. Seeing Chen Zan's silence, Wu Zhou hurriedly said again, "Mr. Chen, we can talk about the price. This is only our intended price. If you find it inappropriate, we can continue to negotiate." Wang Dao and others do not know how to evaluate at this moment. If this challenge is to judge who makes more money, there is no doubt that Chen Zan is the first. Even if it is not based on how much money is made, Chen Zan's performance in the past few days is dazzling and makes people unable to open their eyes. The recipe for stuffed bean curd has long been lost. It is really rare to see you from Mr. Chen this time. "Mr. Chen, please be sure to sell me the recipe for stuffed bean curd." Lu Yuan said, "Don't worry, I bought this recipe for private profit. I will return this recipe to Lukai. If nothing else, this year's state banquet, stuffed bean curd will definitely appear." Chen Zan's heart moved slightly. He seemed to understand why the two people paid such a high price for the recipe. This million, the second to propaganda, the main thing is to be justified. Moreover, this matter is not a loss to him. So Chen Zan nodded. "I have no opinion." Hearing this, the two of them breathed a sigh of relief. At this moment, the door of the restaurant was suddenly pushed open, and a pair of young men and women walked in. Zhang Quilin greeted her and said, "Do you two have dinner?" Yes. They sat down, picked up the menu and glanced, and said, "Angel fish, stuffed bean curd, winter melon cup." The man ordered one of the newly added dishes in one go. Zhang Quilin opened her mouth slightly. "Do you want these dishes?" "Yes, both." At this time, apart from them, there were only Lu Yuan and his party in the hotel. Lu Yuan and the others also heard what they said, and looked a little curious. After all, these dishes are not cheap. And it was just over 10 o'clock, and it was not enough for dinner. "Probably came here in particular," a local chef said. Peng Tong stared at the two for a while, then shook his head and said, "It's kind of like a Michelin reviewer." Michelin. Several people here were taken aback, and Chen Zan was also a little surprised. Really, these two people belong to Michelin. Ah, is Michelin still hiding it? Michelin has a dedicated reviewer, who directly eat without revealing his identity, and Michelin directly reimburses the money for the meal. It's a cool career. This is the legendary foodie. Wang Dao gave a soft voice and couldn't help laughing. "If you really are a Michelin reviewer, that would be interesting." Fu Ying said, "Professor Li, Lawyer Ma, do you think this store is highly likely to be awarded a star by Michelin?" "It's hard to say," Ma Jingyao said. "The Michelin standard actually runs counter to the popular taste. Especially in recent years, the several restaurants selected by Michelin are basically expensive, not the previous taste." Host. Concubine Lin said, "Why not just focus on taste? Shouldn't restaurants focus on taste?" Ma Jingyao smiled without saying a word, with an expression that he understood. As concubine Lin lost her mind when she sings, and why? Because the star of the restaurant is bought with money. A private rating agency, really expect them to rate you which one is delicious. Michelin is no longer the Michelin it used to be. There is an endless stream of spending money to buy stars. I remember that several restaurants on the Treasure Island all bought stars, which is simply cheating. Regardless of whether it is cheating or cheating, if Chen Ji's restaurant can really be rated as a star, not to mention too much, it is a one-star restaurant, and it will definitely increase the restaurant's customer traffic. This is a good thing. Zhang Quilin was sure that the other party really wanted to order every dish, and then reminded, some dishes take more time to cook. The man asked, how long will it take? The Buddha jumped over the wall and stuffed beans for more than 3 hours, and the winter melon cup and angelfish took about an hour. It will take so long. The woman frowned, can't you hurry up? Zhang Quilin said, they are all made now, there is no way to go fast. The man said, do it, let's wait slowly. Zhang Quilin gave a cry, turned and walked to Chen Zan's side. Xiao Chen, they ordered new dishes. Okay. Chen Zan nodded, and said to Lu Yuan, Teacher Lu, you sit down first. I'll cook 2 servings of each dish later. You ran all the way over, just to taste my craftsmanship. Quote. Lu Yuan said, let's go together, old man, I happen to give you a shot too. Chen Zan hurriedly pushed him back on the stool. Mr. Lu, don't betray me. I will come here by myself. You can just sit down. The local chef also said, Ms. Lu, you still don't go. If those 2 are really Michelin reviewers, your help will affect their scoring standards. Upon hearing this, Lu Yuan said, then I really can't mix it up. After all, with regard to Michelin stars, for a restaurant, getting Michelin stars means that it can make a lot of money. Hearing their conversation, the man and the woman raised their eyebrows. Our identities seem to have been guessed. The woman didn't care. If you guess it, it's okay. At this moment, the man's cell phone rang suddenly. He glanced at the caller ID, and was a little surprised. Mr. Shu is calling. Hey, Mr. Shu, are they coming too? They will be there soon. But, well, I see. After hanging up the phone, the man said, Fang Fei and Zhongqing will come over in a while. The woman wondered, what are they doing here? Mr. Shu said that if the taste of the dish has gone, I will rate the stars today. What? The woman was stunned in the same place, and then reacted for a while, direct star rating. More or less. Is this store so powerful? It's not that it's too powerful, it's that it's too popular. The man said, Michelin's recent reviews are not very good, and they say that we are not grounded enough. Shu always means that it just happens that this store is in the limelight recently, so he took advantage of the trend to give stars. It's a win-win situation. The woman understood roughly. She looked at this simply decorated restaurant, and she was deeply moved. This restaurant is very lucky. The food they ordered was much less than what Dawei Wang ordered yesterday. I didn't order home-cooked dishes, but came here with these new dishes. The first dish Chen Zan presented was boiled cabbage. At the same time, several other reviewers have also arrived. It's very early. These people sat down and said with a smile, I actually wanted to come and eat a few days ago, and I haven't had time. Oh, it's served. Boiled cabbage. This dish. Hey, it's pretty fragrant. Their group of reviewers can be considered to have eaten all over the country. Not to mention all parts of the country, it is the cuisines of the world, they have all eaten. But the least eaten among them is Daxia dishes. Most of the restaurants starred by Michelin are French or Japanese restaurants, but few Daxia restaurants. What's more, boiled cabbage is a high-end dish in itself, and it is not something that can be made in any store. After the dishes were on the table, they started eating. Oh, this taste, absolutely good to eat. This cooking skill is simply amazing. The feedback from several reviewers was surprisingly consistent. No way, Chen Zan's cooking skills are really nothing to choose from. Chen Zan made 2 servings of this dish, and Lu Yuan was also tasting the other table. Compared with this group of reviewers, Lu Yuan, a group of professional super chefs, has a different comment. The broth is very thick, but just by looking at it, you will think it is a clear soup, and the thick one is very good. The taste of the broth is also very positive. the layering is very rich, the mellowness of the chicken broth and the freshness of the duck broth are very obvious. The most powerful thing is the cabbage. It is tender and crispy, but it doesn't feel raw at all. When he poured the cabbage in the broth, he had a good grasp. Lu Yuan asked, Xiao Gao, if you change this dish, how much can you make? Xiao Gao, a chef in Jinling, smiled bitterly and shook his head. It's not bad to have 3 points. Others also said, I may not be able to reach 3 points. He is too precise in his grasp of heat and seasoning. Just us people, occasionally have hands shaking, but he cooks, I doubt whether he is. Salt weighed in grams. The other dishes are also served one by one. Almost every dish that comes up will get the highest evaluation. These reviewers are away all year round, running around in gourmet restaurants across the country for 3 weeks a month, and the requirements for food are much higher than ordinary people. However, in the face of Chen Zhan's dishes, he still couldn't resist. In the live broadcast room of tens of millions of netizens, the identities of this group of reviewers could not be hidden. Gee, it's really a Michelin reviewer. The short-haired woman on the left, I know, she was there when I signed up for the Michelin reviewer, but I was eliminated and she was selected crying. It's a real hammer, Michelin really sent someone to visit the store. Actually, I think there is no big difference between Chen Jiyi's cooking skills and Michelin evaluation. I think so too, but it's better to have it than not to have it. Chen Zhan has been busy until 12:30, before finishing the last dish. Lu Yuan was full of emotion after tasting the stuffed bean curd. This dish not only has a complicated production process, but also has an excellent taste. The angelfish did not disappoint Wu Zhou's expectations. On the other hand, these Michelin reviewers are also very satisfied. When Chen Zhan came out of the kitchen, he carried the packing strap in his hand. Teacher Lu, sit down first, I'll deliver a takeaway, and I'll be back soon. Oh, well, slow down your journey. When Lin Zhan left, Lu Yuan said, this young man, with this cooking skill, even delivers food by himself. It's really rare. Xiao Gao said, Teacher Lu, don't you know, Xiao Chen is going to deliver a meal to a sick little girl. The affairs of anorexia patients are buzzing on the internet, and almost no one knows. However, Lu Yuan didn't surf the internet very much, and he went to bed last night and got on the plane after getting up early today. He didn't have much chance to contact him. Naturally, he didn't know. Xiao Gao told him about this matter. After listening to them, Lu Yuan and the others were amazed, and even looked at each other a little. Finally, he looked at the clean dishes that were mopped up by them, and came to a conclusion. Xiao Chen's cooking skills, with this effect, does not seem to be that surprising. This is definitely the highest evaluation of Chen Zhan. After Chen Zhan came back from the hospital, he found that the reviewers hadn't left yet. Not only did he not leave, but instead he took the initiative to stand up and welcome him. Mr. Chen, we have something to tell you. I wonder if I can talk to you. What's up? The man said. First introduce myself. My name is Yang Zhengdong. I am a Michelin reviewer. These are my colleagues. Like me, they are also Michelin reviewers. Netizens have recognized their identities anyway, and there is no need to hide them. And it doesn't make much sense to conceal it or not. Chen Zhan is not surprised. Oh. Yang Zhengdong said. Mr. Chen, after our tasting, you are highly recognized for your cooking skills. We will submit a report to the Michelin Guide and a 3-star application. Just Samsung. Isn't it usually 1 star? It depends on the situation. I think Brother Chen's dishes are particularly delicious, so I gave it to Samsung directly. It's too much. Niu Pen, I have a hunch, Chen's shop will explode after today. Big Stomach King, I rewarded 10 Buddhas jumping over the wall, and left a message. Ha ha ha, I made a lot of money, I tasted the food of the Michelin 3-star certified restaurant in advance. Small logo, I rewarded 10 Buddhas who jumped over the wall and left a message. Chen Jie is super strong, and he won 3 Michelin stars in less than a week, so he can apply for record. Yang Zhengdong's remarks directly caused netizens to rise up again and again. The barrage is like a tide, and rewards are like rain, swarming. Lu Yuan and others were not surprised when they heard this. After tasting the dishes made by Chen Zhan, they felt that Michelin's 3-star evaluation certification was a normal thing. Chen Zhan's cooking skills deserve this evaluation. Chen Zan said calmly and asked, "Do I need to do anything?" Yang Zhengdong said, "Someone will call you in these 2 days, and you will need to bring your business license and ID certificate. In the past, just pay a certification fee." Certification fee. Chen Zan raised his brows. "How much does the certification cost?" Yang Zhengdong said, "About hundreds of thousands." Chen Zan raised his brow again, and then asked, "How many restaurants are Michelin certified globally?" Yang Zhengdong said, "There are 2,241 star-rated restaurants included in the Michelin Red Guide, including 3-star restaurants." "Oh," Chen Zan responded, and then said, "Thank you for your tasting and recognition, but certification is not necessary." As soon as this was said, the small restaurant suddenly became quiet. He refused. A total of 6 reviewers looked at Chen Zan together, with incredible expressions in their eyes. What does he mean by this? He rejected Michelin's 3-star certification assessment. This is Michelin certification, and it's still Samsung. Even the world's top restaurants will not refuse Michelin certification. No restaurant can refuse. Michelin certification means professional recognition, and it also means an increase in passenger flow. Tens of millions of netizens in the live broadcast room were also a little daunted by the words rejected by Chen Zan. Chen Zan, Wang Dao was a little bumped. He refused. It seems to be. Li Lang smiled unexpectedly. Rejection. I didn't expect it. Michelin came to review, as they expected. The final review was passed, as they expected. Only the Samsung rating given at the end made them a little surprised. After all, 1-star and 3-star are completely different. They have thought about many situations, but they have not thought about it. Chen Zan will refuse. This exceeded everyone's expectations. What am I? Brother Chen, are you crazy? Michelin 3-star certification, so I refused. Brother Chen, you must be calm, this thing cannot be impulsive. Don't have trouble with money. Suddenly, the barrage that came in immediately swallowed the live broadcast room. Netizens simply wonder if there is something wrong with their ears. Otherwise, how could Chen Zan refuse it properly? Although it has not even been a week since the start of the show, they have some understanding of Chen Zan. Chen Zan is definitely not a fool, let alone an impulsive person. But what they are doing today seems to them to be so impulsive, so unreasonable, so stupid. Yang Zhengdong and several people recovered from the shock, and asked in a daze, "Mr. Chen, what did you just say?" Chen Zan smiled slightly at him, did not repeat, turned and left. "Mr. Chen." Yang Zhengdong hurriedly stopped. "This is a Michelin 3-star rating. You may not know what this means." "I know. Why? There is no reason, but I feel that it seems unnecessary." Chen Zan actually doesn't want to pay certification fees. "It's not that I begged you to certify, but you still asked me for money. What is the logic? And besides the certification fee, there are bound to be other costs. For example, articles in the Michelin Guide magazine, these are all propaganda for restaurants. For a restaurant, the effect of getting Michelin's promotion is beyond doubt." However, Chen Zan felt that there was no such need. This is not necessary for him. He recognized Michelin's profit model, but simply did not want to waste this money. Besides, rejecting Michelin is not necessarily a stupid choice. There are more than 2,000 Michelin-certified restaurants in the world, but he is the only one that has rejected the 3-star Michelin certification. This compelling standard is not low at all, and there is no need to pay. The happiness of white prostitution cannot be expressed in words. "I have something else." Chen Zan smiled at him and turned to Lu Yuan's table. Yang Zhengdong looked at each other, but they were speechless for a while. They traveled north and south and had eaten so many restaurants. This is the first time they have encountered such a thing. And in my impression, every one of them was surprised and excited when they learned that their restaurant was going to be certified by the Michelin Guide. I have never met Chen Zan so calm, even refused. Yang Zhengdong and the others were still a little unwilling, and wanted to go up and continue to inquire. They still feel that Chen Zan may not understand what Michelin's 3-star certification means. But in the end it didn't go on. Because this is a live broadcast. They are Michelin reviewers. Being rejected once or twice is enough. Going up again, the probability is still rejected. At that time, as a Michelin reviewer, the scenes of repeated rejections will appear in front of tens of millions of netizens. This is a big blow to Michelin and to them. Therefore, a few people did not go up again. After paying the money, Yang Zhengdong walked over and said, "Mr. Chen, thank you for the food you provided today. My taste buds have enjoyed the ultimate enjoyment, thank you. You're welcome, your love of my dishes is your greatest recognition of me." Chen Zan smiled. A few people left. After they left the store, the others couldn't help it anymore and spit out, "He actually refused. What the hell is this guy thinking? This is a Michelin 3-star. How do I feel that he seems to think the certification fee is too expensive?" A woman said. "How much is the certification fee? If their store can get a Michelin 3-star certification, they can make more than the hundreds of thousands of certification fees." His eyesight is really short-sighted. The dishes are delicious, but being a human is really a bit of a problem. These people keep complaining. Only Yang Zhengdong didn't speak during the whole process. Although he was surprised that Chen Zan refused to authenticate, no matter what the reason was for the other party's refusal, it was the other party's business. He just felt sorry for Chen Zan's refusal, nothing more. On the way back, he dialed Mr. Shu's phone and told him the matter. Mr. Shu was also surprised to learn that the rejection of Michelin 3-star certification had never happened before Chen Zan. At the same time, on the internet, the enthusiasm for this matter has also begun to ferment. Refused restaurant with 3-star Michelin certification. Chen Zan rejected the news of the Michelin 3-star certification. As soon as it came out, he became the #1 in the hot search. Rely on the trust. Is anyone rejected the Michelin certification? I can't understand it. A great man, even Michelin doesn't bother it. As expected, he is the man I like, he has personality. Is this news true or not? Why don't I believe it? It's Michelin. When most people marveled at Chen Zan's choice, some people thought it was fake news. There is no way, because the other party is Michelin. In most people's perception, no restaurant can refuse the Michelin certification. However, about an hour after the hot search on this matter, Michelin's official Weibo posted an update. Michelin Guide. After cross-assessment by 6 reviewers, we believe that Mr. Chen Zan's cooking skills are enough to win 3 Michelin stars. We deeply regret Mr. Chen Zan's refusal and wish Mr. Chen's business prosperous. This Weibo, just take it real. Michelin has indeed confirmed to give Chen Zan a 3-star certification. It was only rejected by Chen Zan. At the same time, the emergence of this Weibo has also pulled the popularity of this topic to a more terrifying height. It turned out to be true. I really want to pry this guy's mind away and see, what is he thinking, and what good is it for him to refuse? I was curious, why did Brother Chen refuse? There must be a reason, right? I think Brother Chen may think the certification fee is too expensive. Puff, more than 100,000 certification fee, it's expensive, so many restaurants can't buy it if you want to spend money. Hehe, I really thought it would cost hundreds of thousands. Do you know how much it would cost a restaurant to maintain the Michelin star certification every year? Check it out. Michelin has certified more than 2,000 restaurants in total. More than 90% of them are top restaurants. People are not looking for food at all, they are looking for rich people. In the program group, Wang Dao and others are also discussing this matter. With his culinary skills, I have attracted all Michelin, and now I have rejected the Samsung certification. This kind of operation can be done by Chen Zan. Wang Dao said. However, I think Chen Zan rejected the other party, it seems that it is not a bad thing. Concubine Lin said. Is this not bad enough? It's not too bad. Li Lang also smiled. There are so many Michelin certified restaurants in the world, but there is only one restaurant that refuses Michelin. Concubine Lin was startled. Although she had a single line of thought, she was not stupid. When Li Lang said this, she immediately understood the meaning. A group of sand sculptures still feel that Brother Chen has lost. The biggest prophet is Brother Chen, okay. The first restaurant to refuse the 3-star Michelin certification. Isn't this title more important than the 3-star Michelin? I lost it, I really reacted, it seems that it really is. This wave. Brother Chen is in the atmosphere. Originally, Chen Zan felt confused. But after Li Lang's analysis, this group of netizens immediately reacted. So it can be so late. Rejecting Michelin's hot search. I have been posting on Weibo for 2 days. In the past 2 days, the entire network has known that there has been a restaurant in Daxia that refuses to be certified by a Michelin 3-star. The names of Chen Zan and Li Jia's private restaurant are all over the internet, and almost no one knows them. 2 days later, the heat gradually faded. However, this is only the fading of domestic enthusiasm. In foreign countries, this matter has also caused a lot of discussion. Even more foreign media commented on Li Jia Si Feng restaurant and Chen Zan in this way. Restaurant from the mysterious kingdom of the East. In the Far East, there is an ordinary restaurant that rejected the 3-star Michelin guide. The price is expensive. A plate of fried bean sprouts is 2,888 yuan. A piece of tofu is 1,888 yuan. But even if it is so expensive, there are still many people waiting in line every day. Reservations are accepted, and parking spaces are not provided. The service there is not thoughtful, and the sanitation situation is even more worrying. But it is such a restaurant that attracts countless customers. Oh, God, are these customers crazy? Quote, this slightly exaggerated news spread wildly on the internet. However, it was also because of this news that once allowed this restaurant to become the #1 restaurant on the list of most anticipated restaurants on foreign travel websites. The more curious, the more attractive. This is true no matter which country you are in. And on the 5th day of rejecting Michelin, Chen Zan was once again on the hot search. Rongdu, fairy fish recipes sold at millions of sky-high prices. Lu Yuan and others went back that night, and the money for the recipe went to Chen Zan's card today. In the following period of time, the passenger flow of Li Jia private restaurant also increased. Without spending a penny, I gained a signature comparable to Samsung's certification. For the rest of the time, Chen Zan's daily job is to cook and cook. At the same time, he is also instructing Li Amin. After more than half a month, Li Amin's cooking skills have improved at a speed visible to the naked eye. But Li Amin alone is obviously not enough. The hotel has also begun to recruit from outsiders, and the salary is extremely high, no less than that of a 5-star hotel. After all, today's restaurants are different from the past. In the planning of Chen Zan and Li Amin, they intend to continue to open branches and expand the scale. But to ensure passenger flow, the most important thing is only one point. That is the taste of the dishes. At present, Chen Zan has added these new recipes. In addition to winter melon cup and Vance tofu, other dishes can be made by Li Amin. The taste is certainly not as good as Chen Zan, but it is not bad. Moreover, these dishes are not home-cooked. Customers who eat for the first time will hardly give bad reviews. In the blink of an eye, a month has passed. Today is the last day of the challenge. On this day, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Wang Dao said, 1 month has passed in the blink of an eye. The challenger who chose the chef has ushered in the last day of their first challenge. After the early hours of tonight, the first professional challenge of these 20 challengers will come to an end. At the same time, it will also enter the tripartite evaluation session. Observers from the program group, chef industry professionals, and audiences will rate the 20 challengers. The scoring process for observers and people in related industries will be made public, and the audience's scores are mainly sent to the program group by editing text messages. The editing content is the challenger's serial number, name, and score. The score ranges from 1 to 100. SMS voting will start counting after midnight tonight. This month, Chen Zan has grown a lot. It is said that money is a man's courage, which is not bad at all. Money, to a certain extent, can be said to be the confidence of a man. Although it is the last day, for Chen Zan, there is no difference between today and yesterday. At 8 o'clock in the evening, after finishing the last table of dishes, Chen Zan took off his apron and washed his hands. Li Amin said, Xiao Chen, today is the last day, I will cook a few more dishes later, let's celebrate. Chen Zan smiled, after tonight, the first challenge is completely over. This month, Li Amin's cooking skills have also risen to a terrifying height. Let him now go to a 5-star hotel, to a Michelin 3-star restaurant, as a chef is more than enough. It is even more important to be admitted as a super chef. So even if he doesn't come after tomorrow, Li Amin can come to this restaurant alone. Half an hour later, Lee Amin brought up the cooked dishes one by one. At this time, a little girl of about 20 years old opened the door and walked in. "Brother Chen," the little girl yelled with a smile as soon as she entered the room. She saw a table of rich dishes and her eyes sparkled. "Ah, it's too time for me to come back today." She walked over, picked up a piece of ribs with her hand and threw it into her mouth. Chew a few bites to eat, pretending to be an old-fashioned tone. "Oh, my dad's cooking skills are getting better and better, Brother Chen, you adjust, it's so good." "Go, how can I talk?" Chen Zan smiled. This girl is Li Amin's daughter, Li Meng, a student of the law department of Jinling University. After a while, several dishes were served on the table, and the whole family gathered in front of the table to eat supper. It is not a particularly luxurious restaurant, with ordinary decoration and a few homely but very exquisite dishes, filling the whole restaurant with the atmosphere of family life. Li Amin asked, "Xiao Chen, this challenge is over, can you continue?" As soon as this was said, all netizens kept their ears open and stared at Chen Zan. They also wanted to know. Chen Zan hummed, "I must continue to challenge." Li Amin asked, "Have you considered what to challenge?" He doesn't even ask Chen Zan whether he can pass the assessment. This is nonsense. If even Chen Zan can't pass the evaluation, really, the other 99 people are absolutely hopeless. Nothing. Chen Zan shook his head. The first challenge is over. There is a week's rest time. Don't worry, then think about it slowly. Li Meng said, "Brother Chen, I have checked the rules of the program group. After early tonight, the channel for audience ratings will be announced. I will definitely call everyone in our class to vote for you." Chen Zan smiled. "Then I will thank you in advance. It's so fast, it's been a month in the blink of an eye. This month, I watched Brother Chen come over. Alas, Brother Chen has grown up. As soon as the early morning is over, I will vote for Brother Chen." Regardless of the level of observers and professionals, since the audience voted for this level, I dare to say that Chen has the most votes and the highest score. After eating supper, Chen Zan went straight back. After returning home, Chen Zan lay down and rested. The other challengers couldn't sleep at all. For the 19 challengers who chose the chef, every minute of the last day was difficult. These challengers, in their live broadcast room, have about 300,000 online data every day. This is actually a very high number. Even for anchors who specialize in live broadcasting, few can guarantee an average of 300,000 online per day. However, compared with Chen Zan's stable online tens of millions every day, their data is not even counted as his younger brother. It was almost time to witness life and death. They all sat on their own sofas or chairs, quietly waiting for the early morning message. However, as time passed by, the online presence in their live broadcast room became less and less. Although they kept mentioning it during the daytime today, they hope that netizens can vote for them after the early hours of the morning. But reality is always cruel. At 11 o'clock, their live broadcast room was online, and there were only less than 50,000 left. The online data of the entire program group also fell to 8 million. However, Chen Zan's personal live broadcast room has 4 million online. This contrast makes other challengers even more desperate. It was 11:50 in the middle of the night. The first hospital and nurse station of Jinling City. Several nurses on night duty were rounds, and suddenly, an alarm sounded from the bed next to the door. Xiao Xiao on the bed quickly grabbed her mobile phone and glanced at her in a daze. She immediately became energetic. "Ah, it's almost early morning." Xiao Xiao's father sat up from the escort bed. "Xiao Xiao, what's the matter?" Xiao Xiao stared at the phone and said, "It's early in the morning, I want to vote for Brother Chen." The nurse in the ward round heard it and said quickly, "Oh, I forgot all about it. Fortunately, there are still 10 minutes before the early morning, too late." After checking the room, several young nurses took out their cell phones one after another, quietly waiting for the early morning message. The same scene is now being staged all over the country. It's 11:55. 5 minutes before the early morning, Chen Zan's live broadcast rooms online suddenly began to skyrocket. 4 million online, in the blink of an eye, it has skyrocketed to 5 million. This skyrocketing trend does not mean to stop in the slightest. It's 11:59. Break 10 million online. And when 12 o'clock came, the online had reached 12 million. Chapter 51. Let me go, I remember just 3 or 4 million online. Why did it suddenly become more than 10 million? Specially set an alarm clock, get up and vote for Brother Chen. Ha ha ha, me too. Go to bed after voting. The host announces the voting number quickly. The barrage was like rain, and it was very lively. It's hard to imagine it turned out to be the early hours of the night. Wu Tong and Zhang Ting, as well as the Night Observer, also noticed the changes in online data. They were a little shocked watching the millions of online surges in just a few minutes. Is Chen Zhan's appealing power already so powerful? And those challengers who hadn't slept at this time, seeing this scene, only felt a shot in the heart. What a bully. Isn't it one level at all? I just noticed that the online live broadcast room has skyrocketed to 12 million. There must be many netizens who want to vote for our challengers as soon as possible. Wu Channel. I announce that the 20 challengers who have chosen the chef, their challenge is over. In the next 3 days, observers from the program group, professionals in the chef industry, and all viewers who watch the program will rate these 20 challengers. All the details of the score will be announced by the program group to ensure absolutely fair, just and open. Now, the audience voting channel is announced. Every audience can edit the text message and send the serial number, name and score of your favorite challenger to the number 1022-4x. The SMS voting channel is open for 24 hours, and SMS sent after 24 hours will no longer be counted. Wu Tong talked about the rules in detail, and then repeated the number 3 times. The program group also printed this series of numbers on the screen. All netizens watching the live broadcast can see the number and the word vote from the upper right corner of the screen. The logistics staff, sitting in front of the computer, glanced at the voting statistics software. At this look, the eyes almost stared out. What's wrong? The others asked when they heard the sound and looked over. The man waited for the data on the screen and frowned. There seems to be something wrong with the voting statistics. How is it possible? Someone laughed. It's all SMS voting. This software is an auxiliary statistical programming. How can it be wrong? But, the man said, the data shows that in that minute, more than 100,000 people sent voting text messages. How many people? The smiles on other people's faces disappeared suddenly, and they were all shocked by this number. 100,000 people a minute. It won't really be a problem, right? Several people hurried over to look at it. From this look, the number of votes has risen from 100,000 to 300,000. I'm going. What's the situation? Wait, why is the online data so high? 14 million online in the early morning. Don't these guys need to sleep? What the hell is going on with this? A group of technicians have been completely stunned. They immediately began to check the specific information of these votes, and through screening, they can see the specific information of the more than 300,000 votes very intuitively. 300,000 voting text messages, more than 290,000, were all voted by the number 1 challenger, that is, Chen Zhan. At this point, they finally understood. They are all fans of Brother Chen. Gone. This appeal is too abnormal. It's already 400,000. It's 500,000. You said, will Brother Chen's vote exceed 1 million? Suddenly, someone asked such a sentence. Several people looked at each other, was silent for a while, and said, I guess it's really possible. 1 million. I don't even dare to think about it. This is a proper promotion. Nonsense. Do you have to talk about it? Now let's see how much Chen Jie can score. Wait and watch. Weibo will probably be taken over by Brother Chen again in the past 2 days. Within 24 hours, if the number of SMS voters really exceeds 1 million, it goes without saying that Chen Zhan will inevitably set off a wave on the internet. This kind of appeal is that many first-line celebrities dare not say that they can do it. In the live broadcast room, after the netizens finished sending the text messages, they posted a barrage and went offline. Send a text message, go to bed. I also sent it, waiting for Brother Chen to get full marks. Sleep. The moon sets and the sun rises. The next day, it was here. Chen Zhan's live broadcast room is now in a black screen state. Since early morning, his live broadcast room has been offline. In the morning, 9 o'clock, Wang Dao and others are sitting in the program group, and he has obtained a copy of the data. When they first got this data, Wang Dao and Fu Ying were shocked. Good morning, everyone, Wang Dao said. Now 20 challengers have finished their challenges, and now it's time to score. The scoring rules and systems have long been announced, and the SMS voting channel has been announced since the early hours of last night. Just now, I got a copy of the data. This data is the 9-hour SMS voting data from the early morning to the present. When talking about this, Wang Dao paused, scanned a few observers, and deliberately sold a pass. Attorney Ma, Professor Li, guess what? How many people voted by SMS in these 9 hours? How many people voted? Ma Jingyao didn't care too much, thought for a few seconds, and each gave an answer. 200,000 people. I think there should be around 300,000 yuan. After all, the popularity of this show is still very high. Almost. I estimate it is also 200,000 or 300,000. Netizens were also curious about his words. Don't sell it, just say it quickly. How many people are there? I voted anyway. I also voted. Should it be more than that? There were more than 10 million online last night. Wang Dao glanced at the barrage in the live broadcast room and was very satisfied with the effect. As the host, he must be responsible for mobilizing the atmosphere. Seeing that the atmosphere was pulled up, he stopped selling off and said directly, as of now, the number of SMS voters is 10,000. How many people? Ma Jingyao was stunned. It's because they have seen a lot of big scenes, and at this moment they are also shocked by this number. 10,000. Wang Dao said. This is only 9 hours of data. If nothing else, 5 million should not be a big problem by the early hours of tonight. And of these 10,000 SMS votes, 3 million were voted for Chen Zan. Wang Dao dropped another blockbuster. The brains of several people were severely shaken. There are 10,000 in total, and Chen Zan alone occupies 3 million, which is nothing short of a pervert. Worry, 3 million. My brother Chen hangs. Before early morning, brother Chen definitely hopes to break 5 million. This son is terrifying. I want to know now, what is the combined score of these 3 million votes? Can you publish it all at once? It's a bit of a painful passage, don't you know? Wang Dao said. According to current statistics, Chen Zan received 3 million SMS votes, and his overall score was 99.3. Close to full score, Ma Jingyao exclaimed. This score, a bit scary. With so many people voting, there must be some people who deliberately voted for 0 points. And based on the horror of 3 million, this part of malicious voting is not a minority. But it is also based on the large horror of 3 million, which led to this part of the malicious voter, almost unable to shake the overall data. Even with this group of people, it is only a fraction of a point lower. I didn't get such a high score when I took the exam right away. I want to know now, what is the pretense of the people who scored low? It's not easy, Heitzi. In fact, it's just shameless. Wang Dao said. At present, the three-party scoring, the audience is in progress, and then there are a few observers and professionals. The program team has begun to contact professionals, and now, I will invite a few observers to rate these 20 challengers. Netizens are all focused on watching it. In addition to the audience, the most concerned about this matter are the challengers. This group of challengers stayed up until 3 or 4 in the morning before falling asleep, and then woke up early in the morning, and did not sleep well all night. The score of the audience vote, Wang Dao did not announce, only Chen Zan. Although they are jealous of Chen Zan's special care, they can only be jealous. The score ends after the early hours of the morning and starts to count. They can only see their score on the audience's side until tomorrow. Now, they are focusing on the ratings of the 4 observers. This is vital to them. Let's rate challenger number 19 first. Wang Dao said. Attorney Ma, Officer Zhang. Please give me a score for challenger no. 19. Ma Jingyao glanced at the name of the 19th and the live footage of this month, recalling the person's performance in his mind. Although not as dazzling as Chen Zan, after a month, he was still a little impressed. However, nothing is particularly impressive. But fortunately, although there is nothing particularly impressive, at least it is quite satisfactory. I give 60 points. Ma Jingyao's score just passed. 65 points, 60 points, 60 points. The 4 observers gave their own scores. Almost all are above the passing line. This score is a satisfactory score. If he follows a particularly harsh score, he can't even get 60 points. Because all they choose are Michelin restaurants or star-rated hotels. And this month passed, and among the 19 challengers, only one person with experience as a chef has fulfilled the requirement to become a regular employee. Next, they rated other challengers. Except for the chef who completed the conversion and got a score of 70, the other challengers, 10 passed and 8 failed. Next, 4 observers are asked to rate challenger Chen Zhan. Wang Dao specifically put Chen Zhan on the last one for scoring. Concubine Lin was the first to say, 100 points. Wang Dao smiled and said, "This is the first full score of our program group so far." Lawyer Ma, how about you? I also give 100 points. Ma Jingyao said, Chen Zhan's performance, I can only use the word perfect to describe. Zhang Zhanmin said, I also give 100 points. Me too. All 4 observers gave full marks. I'm not surprised by the ratings of the 4 observers. I'm not surprised, this is too normal. It's weird not to give full marks. Ha ha ha, Brother Chen looks really going to be the first challenger with full marks. I remember, there is a bonus based on the score, right? 100 points, that is 1 million in cash, which is great. In addition to the cash bonus, there are also offers. Brother Chen doesn't need a job offer anymore, this thing is useless to him. Wang Dao said, tripartite scoring. Chen Zhan scored a perfect score of 100 in the observer. Next, we will connect with professionals. There are 6 professionals in total. Now, let us connect with the first professional from Jinling Intercontinental. The chef of the hotel's Chinese restaurant, Lin Kong. Intercontinental Hotel is the only 6-star hotel in Jinling. Lin Kong is a Chinese restaurant chef, a national super chef, and a master of Huaiyang cuisine. He is a representative of the 8 major cuisines of Huaiyang cuisine. Its status in the cook world is very high. Hi, hello, Mr. Lin. After the call was connected, Wang Dao simply greeted him and said, Mr. Lin, as a special professional of the program group, please rate our challengers. The program team had already contacted these chefs in advance, and besides Lin Kong, there were 5 others. The status of these 5 people in the cook world is equal to that of Lin Kong. At this moment, Lin Kong began to grade these challengers one by one. This program is currently the hottest program with a large audience. Lin Kong can watch it as long as he has time. And he paid particular attention to the 20 challengers who chose chefs. For these 20 people, he also had a general understanding of them. Challenger number 19, I can only give 40 points. Although he has been quite satisfactory this month, his sword skills have not improved significantly after a month. Either the heart is not here, the time is deliberately mixed, or it is true. I don't have this talent. If I put it in my restaurant, the trial period will definitely not pass. Challenger 55. He commented one by one, and everyone kept nodding their heads. Chef Lin is very embarrassed, every comment is in place. I've seen it seriously. Sure enough, I am a professional, I am convinced by this score. And those challengers, listening to Lin Kang's comments and ratings, they are truly desperate. At this time, Lin Kong had already commented on 16 people, and the highest score he gave was only 50 points. There was not even a pass, which shows its severity. Lastly, talk about Chen Zhan. Xiao Chen's words, in fact, there is not much to say, he is very professional, in terms of cooking, even I am not necessarily comparable. Lin Kong gave a very high evaluation. Sword skills, carving, heat, taste, these aspects, Xiao Chen has achieved the ultimate. In fact, during this time, our chefs are also discussing Xiao Chen, several representatives of the 8 major cuisines, and state banquets. Several chefs admire Xiao Chen. I dare not say outside Daxia, but within Daxia, as long as he nods, any restaurant or hotel will open the door to welcome him. Wang Dao said, how many points do you give him? 100 points. Lin Kong said, and I don't think you need to go to other people to continue to ask. Whoever gets full marks, even if you ask Mr. Lu Yuan, the final result is full marks, there will be no surprises. Wipe, give such a high score. The 19 challengers in the front are so miserable, none of them pass the test. When you arrive at Brother Chen, you get a full score. They are treated differently. The difference is Mao, is it supposed to speak of strength? I was worried that the observers and professionals would have a bit of crotch here, but now it's fine. Both sides have full marks. Instead, the audience voted to lower the score. It doesn't matter if the full score is not perfect. Anyway, just pass. I want to know when Brother Chen's next challenge will start. I can't wait. Chen Zan got up, ate something casually outside, and went back to the rental house. Not long after he came back, his cell phone rang suddenly. Hey, who? Hello Chen Zan, I am Wang Dao, the host of Into Career. Oh, hello. This is the first communication between the host and the challenger. Wang Dao said. 2 of your ratings have been determined so far, and only the last one is left for the audience's SMS voting. This item will not be counted until after midnight tonight. However, before that, I believe you must really want to do so. You know, you have 2 other ratings. Chen Zan was a little surprised. The program team announced the results within 3 days. Unexpectedly, it was only the morning of the first day. The 3 parties had already determined the scores, and the efficiency was really high enough. I really want to know. Let me put it down. Wang Dao smiled and said, I want to ask, what are your expectations of yourself? Brother Chen must have just woke up. It must have just gotten up, but if Brother Chen takes a look on Weibo, he won't be appetite of the host here. Bullying Brother Chen, the information is not circulating. Chen Zan pondered for 2 or 3 seconds, and said, 90 minutes or more. It seems that you are very confident in yourself. Wang Dao said, congratulations on your answer. The observer gave you a score of 100, and the 6 professionals gave you a score of 100. Even if you scored 0 in the audience scoring session, with these 2 full marks, you can also be promoted smoothly. Full score. Chen Zan was slightly surprised. It's not that he has no confidence in himself. The fact is just the opposite, he is very confident in himself. But he feels that he is at most 90 points. After all, giving full marks directly can easily lead to controversy. Unexpectedly, these professionals and observers are so self-willed, relying solely on their good intentions. Wang Dao said, Chen Zan, according to the program's rules, you will have a week to rest. At the same time, I also want to know, after a week, will you continue to challenge or give up? Continue to challenge. I think so. Wang Dao smiled faintly, then gave a tone, and asked, I'm curious, do you already have an idea in your mind about your second professional challenge? Can you reveal it in advance? As soon as this was said, several observers immediately looked over. Tens of millions of netizens in the live broadcast room were also curiously waiting for Chen Zan's answer. The second professional challenge. Chen Zan is indeed planning to do a good study today. But this hasn't been studied yet. When asked, he shook his head and said, not yet. Well, that's a shame. Wang Dao was a little regretful for not being able to ask Chen Zan's next challenge, and immediately said, then I won't bother you. I will wait until the results of the audience's SMS voting are released tomorrow. Contact you. After hanging up, Chen Zan opened Weibo and glanced at it. Unsurprisingly, I went on a hot search again. Chen Zan's first challenge is over, the tripartite score countdown. 9 hours, over 3 million people voted by SMS. Into the profession, the first challenger with perfect scores is about to appear. Chen Zan's next challenge turned out to be it. Chen Zan. What the hell is the last one? I didn't even think about what to choose, so it's a hot search. Are people so dogged nowadays? But you really have to start preparing. He walked to the sofa and sat down, glanced at the prestige value, and directly drawn a lottery. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Jean drink. Congratulations to the host for getting sunscreen cream. Congratulations to the host for getting the visor. Congratulations to the host for getting the insole. Congratulations. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the designated profession card. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the designated profession card. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the designated profession card. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the 10 million lottery experience card. What is said in that sentence? As long as the reputation value is enough, there is nothing that you can't get. After drawing hundreds of times in one breath, I finally got a professional card. Moreover, it is still a designated professional card. Just looking at the name, you will know that there is a huge difference from the ordinary professional card. Designated occupation card can directly designate an occupation. Sure enough, as he thought, there was a big difference. Previously, the occupation card was random, but now, it is designated. In addition, there are other things. He checked them one by one. Sunscreen cream, 360 degrees all round, no dead spots to care for your skin, effectively prevent UV sunburn. Sun hat, wear it, you are the most beautiful boy in the village. Insole, moderate softness, invisible heightening, enhanced elasticity, full angle covering the soles of the feet. Even if you travel thousands of miles a day, you will not feel tired. The corners of Chen Zhan's mouth twitched slightly. This system is really, anything can be twitched. Passing the career card, he looked directly at the last thing. 10 million lottery experience card, it costs 10 million prestige points. Chen Zhan's eyes lit up. This is a good thing. Ordinary lottery, as long as 100,000 prestige points. Although everything can be drawn, good things still have to be probabilistic. For things like genetic drinks, Chen Zhan has only drawn a few bottles so far. It is also difficult to obtain professional cards. The 10 million level lottery is to amplify the probability of obtaining such things. Moreover, so far, Chen Zhan has obtained very little. Smoke. He did not hesitate to use the tens of millions of experience cards. Congratulations to the host for obtaining randomly triggered by fixed profession. Random trigger by fixed profession, choose a profession and trigger the reward randomly. Chen Zhan pondered for a few seconds, and then roughly understood what it was. Simply put, it is based on the occupation, and a random reward is obtained. This thing, he felt that his 10 million prestige value was pitted. If you bark your teeth, you'll be pitted. Buddies have a lot of prestige, don't care about these 3 melons and 2 dates. Look at the professional cards, there are 3 in total, which is simply extravagant. What kind of profession is there? He muttered to himself, searched the internet, and found the list of occupations. Sweeping past, hundreds of occupations are densely packed, and the people watching are dazzled. Lawyer, teacher, fisherman, driver, farmer, this looks pretty good. Choosing a farmer should be easier. It's not that the program group's requirements for this career are relaxed, but the feeling of living in the countryside. If there is a choice, Chen Zhan would prefer to stay in the countryside. His hometown is the countryside, with beautiful mountains and clear waters, and the fragrance of birds and flowers. For him, it was a paradise. And he just ended a challenge, and he didn't want to make himself too tired. Being a farmer, while completing the challenge, you can relax as a transition. It's cool to think about it. The only uncertainty is that I don't know where the program team will arrange for him in the village. According to the current challengers who choose farmers, the villages they go to are in several cities near Jinling. Most of them are plains, and only a few villages where challengers were assigned have mountains. And he guessed that the program crew will most likely lose themselves in these villages with mountains and lakes. It's simple, they have to increase the difficulty. The easiest way to increase the difficulty is to choose a village that is far from the city and almost isolated from the world. As a city resident who was used to staying in the city, he suddenly had no way to adapt to living in such a place. But that is for others. For Chen Zhan, he likes such a place. It's you, farmer. Chen Zhan smiled and set his second professional challenge in his heart. Soon, the time came to the early morning. At that time, the needle crossed 23:59, and a new day had arrived. The program team attaches great importance to today's SMS voting data, and specially arranges staff to work overtime to make statistics. Although it is early in the morning, the internet is still very lively. Since the 9 hours of 3 million SMS voting data came out, countless netizens have been discussing analysis and prediction under this topic, wanting to know how much the final data is. The tripartite scoring time for these 20 challengers has all ended. At present, the staff is counting on the part of the audience's SMS voting. The data will be available at about 30 in the morning. Wu Tong received a notice from the logistics staff and announced it in the live broadcast room. Yeah, the efficiency of the program group. Sure enough, I didn't spend the night in vain. Hurry up, I just want to know how many votes Brother Chen has. I made a special calculation. The average score of other challengers is currently 50 points. They want to pass. In the audience vote, it is possible to get at least 70 points. What do other challengers have to watch? Look at Brother Chen. In the big evening, there are still more than 6 million online in the live broadcast room of the program group, and this group of people are all waiting for the final data to come out. At 12:30, the data came out. The staff sent it up, and Wutong lowered his head and scanned the data, his pupils shrinking. But he lowered his head, netizens did not see his look change. Did the data come out? The observer asked. It's coming out. Wu channel. You must have no idea how many people sent SMS to vote in 24 hours. Don't sell it out. Have you seen the big fist of the casserole? Believe it or not, I hit you to death. Mom sells batches, I am anxious to death, gone. The host is very urinary. Wutong really didn't want to lose his appetite, he was really frightened by this data. In 24 hours, there were 6.6 million text messages, of which more than 6 million text messages were for Chen Zhan's score. 6.6 million. Zhang Ting and several observers were taken aback by this number. What's so special? What a daunting data. I thought 5 million was capped. As expected of Brother Chen. Don't just talk about numbers, I want to know the score. SMS is a dime. In other words, the fee for SMS alone is 660,000. It's scary. Wutong continued. Chen Zhan's 6 million SMS votes have an average score of 0.99.8 points. After reading this series of numbers, Wutong also paused. He remembers that in the morning, Chen Zhan's average score was 99.3. It stands to reason that the more voters, the lower the average score. At that time, all of them analyzed that Chen Zhan's final audience voting average score was about 80 points. But the current data is 99.8 points, even higher than the morning. This is nothing short of a pervert. Gone, the average score has increased. It's bound to be pulled up. Although there are sunspots, most people who support Brother Chen will send text messages, so the larger the base number, the higher the average score. It seems that this is true. 99.8, rounding to the nearest 100 points, right? It's not important to have a full score. Anyway, the data of Brother Chen can hardly be surpassed by latecomers. 1 million bonus, I really envy Jill Purple. The challengers who are staying up all night waiting for data, listening to Chen Zhan's average score and this horrible vote volume, all feel bitter. If you are simply being eliminated, although you will feel lost, it is only lost. But once there is a comparison, there will be more frustration and despair on top of this loss. This is a ruthless blow to their self-confidence, which is hard to let go of. Then, Wutong announced the scores of the other 19 challengers. Of the 20 challengers who chose the chef, apart from Chen Zhan who finished with nearly full marks, only 2 of the other 19 people passed the test. And it is worthy of the passing line. Moreover, these 2 people also pulled up their scores during the audience voting. Time flies, and it is the next day. After the scores of the 3 parties came out, they rushed to the hot search early in the morning. During the day, the heat continued to rise. Wang Dao took over from the host of the night shift, sat at the table, grabbed the landline in front of him and said, "It's time to notify Chen Zhan." He dialed Chen Zhan's number. Doo. Hey, hello Chen Zhan, I am Wang Dao. Hello, the tripartite score has come out, and your overall score is points. Wang Dao was a little excited and said, "According to the rules, you will receive a bonus of 10,000 yuan. Congratulations, Chen Zhan. Thanks, make persistent efforts, we look forward to your second challenge." Hanging up the phone, Chen Zhan opened Weibo for a while. Netizens are more concerned about these things than him. 6 million SMS votes, with no difference from the full score. Chen Zhan is watching it all by himself. At this time, his cell phone rang, and it was from the program crew. Ask him to provide his bank account number, and shortly after hanging up the phone, the bonus, which was close to 1 million, was credited. After the bonus arrived, Chen Zhan dialed his father's number as soon as possible. A middle-aged couple lives in a rented house in a second-tier city in Weizhou. They are Chen Zhan's parents, the male is Chen Hong, and the female is Bao Shuhua. When the couple were resting today and were about to go out for a bite to eat, Chen Hong's cell phone suddenly rang. It seemed that the call was from a distant relative who hadn't been in contact for a long time. "Hey, cousin, it's me, Da Mao. Do you think of calling me?" "Hey, it's nothing, just talk, what have you done recently?" "Still working in a factory outside." After talking on the phone for more than 10 minutes before hanging up, Chen Hong wondered, why did Damao think of calling me? Generally, when such distant relatives call, Jucheng is to borrow money. But my distant cousin, chatting all over the world, just didn't borrow money and got Chen Hong inexplicably. Before he could think deeply, the phone rang again. At first glance, Diane is a relative who doesn't move much. Bao Shuhua's cell phone was ringing non-stop. Hanging up one and calling another, the couple kept answering the phone and kept busy. Jinling, rent a house. The call you are calling is currently on the phone. Chen Zan has been playing for more than half an hour, but no one answers. But Chen Hong and his wife were completely confused. No matter how slow the reaction is, I know what must have gone wrong. Otherwise, how come these relatives who don't usually contact each other often call? It's so abnormal. After hanging up a call again, Chen Hong noticed that there were several missed calls. Click in to see, my son called. He quickly called back. Hey, Xiaoshuan. There were too many calls just now, and your mother and I have been receiving it now, and don't know what's going on. All of our relatives have called this morning. Chen Zan's heart moved and asked, why are they looking for you? I don't know either. When Chen Hong mentioned this, he was puzzled. It's just small talk. Chen Zan almost guessed it. This group of relatives probably saw the news and knew that they had received a bonus. They don't necessarily really want to borrow money, but when they see a distant relative suddenly becoming rich, they feel that they should move around more to maintain the relationship. If you encounter any trouble in the future, there will be a place for delay. This kind of psychology is normal. Chen Zan didn't break it either. Instead, he said, Dad, you and my mom will take time out these 2 days and quit the factory job. What are you talking about? Dad didn't respond. What are you doing when you resign? Go home. No, Dad refused. The salary in my hometown is too low. If your mother and I suffer for 2 years, we will be able to buy you a house in the county with full money, and then go back and find a job like a security guard. Dry. Chen Zan squeezed his nose. Although he was a traveler, in his memory, the couple loved him, the only child. Since childhood, he has almost responded to every request, and he must have what other children have. For most of his life, he lived almost for him. So now that Chen Zan has made money, the first reaction is to give back to his parents. Stabilizing his emotions, Chen Zan said, Dad, I have money, and I can make money now. He did not hide it, and told his father about his participation in the show and the events of the past month. After listening to Chen Zan's words, my father was stupid. 2 recipes, 2 million. The prize money is close to 1 million. Cash adds up to almost 3 million. There is also a hot restaurant with half of the shares. Earn all this in 1 month. I won't tell you any more, I'll book the tickets first, go home tonight, and you two will also come back, let's meet and say. Chen Zan hung up the phone and directly booked the afternoon ticket. On the other side, Dad is still dumbfounded. After Bao Shuhua finished the call, he told his wife about the matter. The wife was also dumbfounded. After more than half an hour, the couple checked the internet and confirmed the matter. The son did not lie. He really made 3 million in this month. He is now a celebrity. No wonder there are so many calls. Bao Shuhua suddenly realized. The feelings are all because of this. In the afternoon, Chen Zan returned to his hometown. It is located in Lingxian, a small county seat on the 18th line in Weizhou. Chen Zan's hometown is in the village below Lingxian, with beautiful mountains and rivers. Chen Zan's grandparents live in the village. Chen Zan's sudden return made the 2 elders unexpected and happy. My dear grandson is back. The gray-haired grandma greeted Chen Zan and hugged Chen Zan. Milk, my father. Chen Zan carried the big bag and looked inside. Go to the mountain to dig bamboo shoots. The bamboo shoots are coming up. It's only March, what's the risk? Grandma said. Leave him alone, come, give me something. I'll mention it myself. Chen Zan carried things in and put them down. These were the nutrients he bought for his grandparents. Grandpa likes to drink and smoke. He bought Maotai Wuliangye Greater China. Grandma likes to eat cakes. What he bought is rice flour scented cakes, sweet but not greasy. After about half an hour back, Grandpa also came back. The old man is carrying a bamboo basket in his hand, and the box is full of winter bamboo shoots stained with mud, which is a fruitful harvest. Seeing his grandson came back, the old man was very happy. Mom and Dad came back in the evening. This village is small, with only 30 households. Chen Zan's family came back, and the whole village would know it soon. The people in the village also watch TV, plus Chen Zan is so popular now, the people in the village also know. As for how much money Chen Zan made, they don't know. But in their perception, those who can be on TV are all big stars. When the parents listened to the villagers boasting about their son, they were so, and they were already happy. After taking a rest for one night and getting up early the next morning, Chen Zan discussed with his parents, and finally persuaded them to stop working in other places. But if they let them care for the elderly like this, they can't sit still. Chen Zan turned 2 million in the past, letting them toss themselves. Whether you are buying a house or opening a shop, it's okay to be happy anyway. On the third day of resting at home, Chen Zan suddenly received a call. A phone call that surprised him. There is a vocational and technical school in Daxia, which once became popular all over the country because of an advertisement. It is Lanxiang. Which excavator is better? Look for Lanxiang in Daxia Shandong. Whoever has the best cooking skills, come to Shandong to find Lanxiang. At that time and now, there is only one cooking school that can compete with Lanxiang, and that is the New Oriental Cooking School. At this time, a commercial vehicle was on the way to Chen Zan's hometown. In the car, a middle-aged man with glasses, holding a cell phone, dialing the phone. Doo-doo. Hello, who are you? Hello Mr. Chen, I am the director of the propaganda department of Lanxiang Cooking School, and my name is Wu Xin. Hello, Director Wu. Upon receiving the call, Chen Zan's first reaction was, "ISN this school planning to invite me to be a teacher." Wu Xin said, "That's it. Our school wants you to be the spokesperson. I'm on my way to your house. I don't know if it is convenient to meet and chat." The spokesperson. Right, then let's meet and talk. Okay. After hanging up the phone, Chen Zan was a little surprised. The spokesperson of Lanxiang School. Chen Zan muttered to himself, and automatically made up a picture in his mind. Wearing a chef's uniform, he shouted out the classic slogan. This ad is so magical. Soon, the commercial vehicle drove into the village. Wu Xin took a young assistant out of the car and came outside Chen Zan's house. Chen Zan was waiting here, and seeing people coming, he immediately greeted him and opened the gate of the yard. Hello, Mr. Chen. Hello, Director Wu. The two greeted briefly, and they entered the yard. Grandpa just came out of the house and saw Chen Zan talking with someone, so he didn't bother him. My mother made 2 cups of tea and brought them up. Come on, drink tea. Thank you. Wu Xin thanked him and continued to discuss business matters with Chen Zan. Mr. Chen, take a look at this contract, and I happen to also briefly introduce it to you. Chen Zan took the contract and looked at it. Wu Xin introduced the key points on the side. The endorsement fee our school will give you is 10 million a year. After signing for 3 years, it will increase by 30% every year. Chen Zan nodded slightly, and the key points of the endorsement contract were several aspects. The first is the amount, the second is the number of years, and the third is the breach clause. He looked at these aspects and there was no problem. Normally, people like him who have just become popular will hardly receive brand endorsements. Because the fire time is too short, and it still gets fired through this kind of show. Unlike singers and actors, people have works in their hands. Therefore, whether this kind of fire can last is a question, and brands generally do not dare to bet. But Chen Zan is different. This month, his popularity has reached the point of being out of the circle. Fan stickiness is also powerful and terrifying, as can be seen from the 6 million SMS voters. Moreover, endorsements are targeted. A brand does not mean that everyone can endorse, the brand is also very picky. Your image and temperament, whether you can control the brand, whether 1 + 1 can achieve greater than 2 effects, these are all important. This is why Lanxiang approached Chen Zan. Because his cooking skills are unparalleled. Even the master of the state banquet personally said that in terms of cooking, he dare not say that he can surpass Chen Zan. In addition, Chen Zan was the first person to refuse the Michelin 3-star certification. With the addition of many factors, the name Chen Zan has become a golden sign. Therefore, other brands may think that Chen Zan's popularity has nothing to do with them. After all, there is no way to play a complementary role. But for Lan Shang, choosing Chen Zan as the image spokesperson is the most suitable candidate. On the side, my mother and grandma are preparing lunch, while grandpa and dad are smoking cigarettes and don't know what they are talking about. They suddenly heard Wu Xin's words. 10 million. These 3 words shocked them as if they were struck by lightning. Some can't believe their ears. Mr. Chen, do you have any comments on the contract? Wu Xin asked. No problem. Chen Zan shook his head and happily signed his name. Wu Xin let out a sigh of relief and stretched out a hand. Mr. Chen, happy cooperation. Happy cooperation. I will bring the contract back tonight. When the contract is approved, the endorsement fee will be transferred to your account. Good. Then I'll go back first. Let's go after lunch. This endorsement was personally confessed by the principal. I have to go back soon. Then I'll give it to you. Accompanied Wu Xin and the 2 of them to go out and watched them get in the car and leave before Chen Zan went back to the yard. As soon as he came back, his mother couldn't help but ask, Xiao Zan, what did that man just come for? He is the director of Lanxiang School. Their school wants me to be the spokesperson. He came to sign the contract today. Chen Zan smiled and told them in detail. When they learned that the endorsement fee was as high as 10 million a year, the 4 of them were shocked and speechless for a long time. For ordinary people like them, 100,000 yuan is already a lot of money. 1 million is a number that you may not be able to earn in this life. And 10 million, they never even dared to think about it. But now, my son has made 10 million by signing a name. The impact of this 10 million level contract is greater than Chen Zan's monthly profit of 3 million. On the way back, Wu Xin called the principal to inform the principal that the contract had been signed. Back to school that afternoon, the contract was reviewed as quickly as possible. That night, just as Chen Zan was about to go to bed, his cell phone rang. This is an SMS notification of bank arrival. 10 million, it's here. This efficiency is so high that Chen Zan is a little surprised. The next day he received a call from Lan Shang, and he agreed to take a promotional video and photos. In the afternoon, the cameraman invited by the school came to Chen Zan's hometown. Worked until the 3rd day, all the videos and photos were taken. During this time, Chen Zan stayed at his hometown and did not return to Jinling. In the blink of an eye, 7 days passed in a flash. On the last day, Chen Zan's name was once again on the hot search. Lan Zhang's advertisement was sent out. Chen Zan endorses Lan Shang Cooking School, endorsement costs over 10 million. There is also a photo of Chen Zan wearing a chef's uniform under the topic. Facts have proved that people are handsome, even if they wear a sack to look good. This is my brother Chen. Ma, I don't even know when I put on the clothes. Cry, can you make money when you rest? Lan Shang is so rich. Nonsense, how could someone run a school short of money? Brother Chen is really a step up to the sky, and he is directly promoted to the ranks of tens of millions of endorsements. Is this catching up with second-tier stars? You really can afford second-tier celebrities. Few first-tier celebrities can get tens of millions of endorsements. Lan Zhang's soil is a little bit dirty, but it's really a pleasure to give money. Suddenly discovered that today is Brother Chen's last day of rest. Is Lan Shang especially warming up for Brother Chen's second challenge? For the program group, Wang Dao has been waiting for this day for a long time. Since Chen Zan took a break, the ratings of the show have plummeted, not to mention, but it is far worse than when Chen Zan was present. And those challengers are really not worth seeing. What does that sentence say? When making a show, the most important thing is to play, play, play. Your ability is not good, but you can make the audience and netizens remember, which is also a kind of success. Among the 20 people who chose the chef before, only 2 passed except Chen Zan. Why did those 2 pass? It's because of the drama, it's because people's performance is liked by netizens. How about their half-hearted ability, can they pass? Today is Chen Zan's last day of rest. Let's contact Chen Zan to see what his second challenge is. Wang Dao dialed Chen Zan's number, and a beep sounded in the program group. Finally waited. The days without Brother Chen are just like years. Blindly guess that Brother Chen will choose the fisherman. I think Brother Chen should choose a stripper. Quote question mark question mark question mark question mark. There is this profession. Why didn't I see it? Am I blind? Whoever chooses this profession, as long as he dares to choose, I dare to give full marks. At this time, the call was connected. Chen Zan, I am Wang Dao. Oh, hello. Chen Zan didn't even give him a chance to say polite words, and said directly, I choose a farmer. Wang Dao, brother, can we be more particular? Can you give me a chance to say a complete sentence? I am the host, professional. I haven't appeased the audience yet. Wang Dao's inner resentment plus. But he was professional after all, and quickly calmed down. Farmer. Are you sure? According to my observation, the current challenger who chooses the farmer has an average persistence time of 13 days, and the longest one persisted for 17 days. The statistics show that the job of farmer is very difficult. Are you sure you want to choose this job now? Yes, choose a farmer challenger, not to mention reaching the passing line. There is not even a person who can last for a month. All challengers gave up halfway. The first challenger who voluntarily gave up the challenge was because when he was growing crops in the field, he was bitten by a water snake and his mentality collapsed on the spot. People who gave up the challenge one after another were almost all for similar reasons. Either I met a snake in the mountains, or I was too tired from farming and eating too poorly, and I couldn't keep going. Either it's isolated from the world, and the heart is hard. Therefore, the farmer is a very ordinary occupation, but it is listed as the top 3 most difficult occupations by netizens. Well, I'm sure Chen Zan was not affected at all. These people can't persist because they don't know much about the profession of farmer. What's more, these people have never done farm work. Okay, then I will tell you about the farmer's requirements and restrictions. Wang Dao said. First, the initial capital is 100 yuan. Second, wait, Chen Zan interrupted him. 100 yuan. Yes, 100 yuan. Wang Dao said. Every profession has different requirements. The farmer you choose, to be honest, has many restrictions. Puff, Brother Chen regrets covers his face. It's not okay to regret it, I have all chosen. I seem to have seen Brother Chen being bitten by a snake. Chen Zan hummed. You continue. He has already chosen, and he really can't regret it. Wang Dao continued. This 100 yuan does not include your travel expenses, but the expenses when you arrive in the local village. Second, the challenge time is 1 month. Within this month, you can only use 100 yuan. Third, don't borrow money from villagers. Fourth, the program team will arrange a place for you. Within this month, you will have to rely on yourself and the 100 yuan for your food, clothing, housing and transportation. Fifth, in addition to the house, you have an acre of land and a cow. Chen Zan, why did you arrange a cow for me? This show group is poisonous. He understood that the challengers for Mao would not be able to hold on anymore. In addition to finding a way to feed yourself all day long, you also have to graze cattle and farm. There are so many requirements and restrictions. Where is the address? Later, a staff member will send you the address, and the ticket will be bought for you. You only need to arrive in the village tomorrow. Okay, I get it. Then, I wish you success. Thanks. Hanging up the phone, Wang Dao said with emotion, unexpectedly, he would choose a farmer. Lin Fei said, I heard the farmer's request, and it felt so difficult. I suddenly understood the challengers who gave up halfway. Ma Jingyao said, Chen Zan may not know that the farmer still has so many requests. I can hear that he seems to regret it. Brother Chen won't give up halfway this time, right? It doesn't matter if you give up halfway, then Brother Chen can be a cook with peace of mind. Don't dream anymore. Even if Brother Chen fails the challenge, he won't be a cook. He is so handsome, isn't it good to make his debut in the same place? 100 yuan, this is too much, it's just a mockery. I think it's normal for 100% to go to farm work, but not to enjoy it. Chen Zan determined the requirements of the program group for farmers based on these restrictions. It's very simple. In this month, rely on your own hands to support yourself in the countryside. Soon after the phone was hung up, a staff member of the program team contacted him and told him the location of the village and the time of the ticket. The village is called Shangwang Village and is located in Fengming Mountain in Tianai City, Huizhou Province. The ticket is for departure at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning and arrival at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. At that time, the cameraman will go with him. And after Chen Zan confirmed the challenge, he also hung up on the hot search without any suspense. What is the card face? This is the card face. However, the topic of the hot search is Chen Zan. The second challenge is to choose a farmer. How many days can he hold on? This makes Chen Zan feel full of malice and quite unfriendly. At night, suddenly another hot search rushed up. Challenge country life 30 days. I'm going, Brother Kun, is this so hot? I thought it was fake news, but it turned out to be true. Ah, this wave of heat is a bit out of dignity. It's also a first-line star anyway, there is no need to rub such obvious heat. Just saw another hot guy. I saw 5. There are already 7. Chen Zan is very calm, and this kind of enthusiastic behavior will inevitably appear. This also proves from the side that he is indeed on fire now. Even the first-line celebrities are coming to catch the heat. On Weibo today, some demons danced wildly. Just after Chen Zan identified the second professional challenge, a group of celebrities sprung up like mushrooms. They followed the example of Chen Zan and found a village by themselves in accordance with the rules of the program group and recorded it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There are also some live broadcast platforms. I found a few big anchors, and played this one too. I have to say that celebrities and anchors are born with their own traffic topics. After these news come out, all the relevant news and short videos on apps such as Weibo and TikTok. However, Chen Zan's top spot in the hot search is still no one can shake. Soon, the next day arrived. When Chen Zan came to the high-speed rail station, several cameramen were already waiting here. Check in and board the train, arriving at Tianai City at 8:30 in the morning. After coming out of the station, they continued to change trains to the county seat. It was already 9 o'clock in the county town, and the cameraman turned on the accompanying camera and started live broadcasting. At the same time, Wang Dao also received a notice, saying, Chen Zan has arrived in Fengming County, Tianai City, and the cameraman is debugging the equipment. We will be able to see Chen Zan later. He immediately switched the live broadcast room to the live broadcast room number 1 where Chen Zan was located. The live broadcast room is a black screen, but even if it is a black screen, there are more than 1 million people online at the moment. The corners of Wang Dao's mouth twitched. These netizens are poisonous. More than 1 million people just stare at the black screen. What's so good about this? At this moment, the black screen of the live broadcast room suddenly lit up. Chen Zan appeared in the live broadcast room. Ah, I finally saw Brother Chen again. First, I am the first. I was the first one. I started waiting early in the morning. Me too, and the phone is always on when it is turned on. I haven't seen you for a week. Brother Chen seems to be handsome again. As soon as Chen Zan appeared, the online data in the live broadcast room started to skyrocket. From more than 1 million to 2 million in the blink of an eye, it continues to skyrocket. Did you drive? Chen Zan asked quietly, standing on the side of the road. The cameraman hummed. It's on, the live broadcast has already started. Hearing that, Chen Zan waved his hand to the camera, smiled and said, it's been a long time since everyone. Ah, Brother Chen smiled at me. No more, my legs are weak. Brother Chen, go and challenge the trainees, don't get any farmers, I want to watch you rap. Chen Zan walked to a taxi not far away, and said as he walked, I haven't reached the village yet. It will take more than an hour to get to the village from here. The place arranged for me by the program group seems a bit off. Wang Dao smiled and said, I checked this village and it is indeed quite remote. Li Lang said, it doesn't matter whether it is remote or not, it mainly depends on whether he can adapt to life in the countryside. This is not a summer vacation, but a real rural life. No one will help him cook, let alone clean up for him, everything depends on himself. And the life in the countryside is very boring. 1 month is not long or short. It is not easy to stick to it. After taking a taxi and talking about the location, the driver drove towards the village. Half an hour later, a group of mountains appeared on the side of the highway, quite beautiful. The mountains are continuous, and the highest peak is about 800 meters, which is not very high, so it is not famous. However, this piece of scenery is excellent. At first glance, the blue sky, white clouds and green mountains make people feel comfortable and relaxed. At this moment, the car pulled over and stopped, and the driver said, "Here." Arrived. Chen Zan looked confused, looked around for a long time, and asked, "Where is the village?" The driver raised his hand and pointed towards the mountains. "It's about 5 or 6 kilometers away from here." Chen Zan, "I'm going. Is this village so biased? There are no concrete roads. Just want to know, how do people in the village usually go out? Walk on your legs, and there are tractors in the village. In the village, tractors are better than any other vehicles. Similar to our home village, you can only drive tractors, but you can't drive any other cars. The place arranged by the program group is really bad." Chen Zan got out of the car and continued on his way. There was a backpack all over his body, inside it was a change of clothes, but there was nothing else. The distance of 5 or 6 kilometers is nothing to him. It was the remoteness of this place, which really made him unexpected. Chen Zan walked on the wild road with a smile on his face. The road is a bit difficult to walk, but the scenery is really beautiful, and it instantly brought him back to his childhood. Chen Zan didn't walk fast along the way. About half an hour later, a village building appeared in his vision. This should be Shengwang village. Chen Zan quickened his pace and walked into the village. The buildings in the village are all bungalows at a glance, and occasionally a few are small 2-story buildings, but very few. When passing by some villagers' homes, we can see old men and women in the yard, as well as some women. Chen Zan greeted them with a smile, but they looked inexplicable. "Puff, Brother Chen, don't smirk. You scared the old lady." "Auntie, who is this grandson? This village is really biased, but the environment is really good, and the soil is fertile enough. The villagers are completely self-sufficient, but the transportation is inconvenient." A few minutes later, Chen Zan found a house arranged for him by the program group. Standing outside the courtyard, looking at this ordinary house, he knew that this was where he would live for the next month. Pushing the door and walking in, Chen Zan quickly got acquainted with the house. The house is very large, with a courtyard at the front and rear, which can add up to more than 500 square meters. Land is not valuable in the countryside, but living in a big house is really comfortable. He went around the kitchen again. The kitchen was still earthen stove, wood-burning kind. The program team installed cameras in various places in the house in advance, and several cameramen lived in another house in the village. Usually there is no need to follow the filming. If Chen Zan goes out, he will use the drone to track them directly, which greatly reduces their work. After getting acquainted, Chen Zan found the cameraman. "Where is the field? Where is my cow?" He has to figure out everything first. Just coming here, the first few days are destined to be cumbersome. After finishing these few days, the rest of the day will be easy. "I'll take you." The cameraman led him to the field. The field was half a hillside. Not far away was a bamboo forest. There was a pond under the bamboo forest. The water in the pond is living water, drawn down from the mountain, and this field is irrigated by this pond. The cow arranged by the program group is a grown-up buffalo on the edge of the field. It is very big. "Mr. Chen, is there anything else? If nothing happens, we will go back first. In the next month, if you can't hold on, you will find us." "Good." After they left, Chen Zan walked half a circle around the ridge and came to the water buffalo. The water buffalo knelt down and sat on the muddy ground with its tail sweeping annoying flies. "Brother Chen, Niu ignores you. I absolutely can't bear it. Ride up and teach it the correct way to be a cow." "A group of bad guys. Do you want Brother Chen to be flew by the bull?" Chen Zan squatted on the ridge, and was not in a hurry to go back. It's only 10 o'clock, and it's still early for lunch. And there is no rice in the kitchen, so he has to think of a way if he wants to eat. For 100 yuan, buying rice is definitely enough for a month. But the problem is that it is too far away from the county seat and it is inconvenient to go back and forth. The easiest way is to buy them directly from the villagers' homes. In addition to rice, there are dishes. Just eat white rice. One meal is okay, the meal is definitely not enough, and no one can eat it. He is now planning in his heart for the next month. Although there are houses and fields, there is still a cow. But the problem is that the fields are empty and overgrown with weeds. If you want to plant them, you have to weed them first. Moreover, almost no fruits and vegetables can mature in a month. Planting is definitely a bonus, but it is a waste of time. So there are two ways to get food, one is to buy it with money, and the other is to look for it in the mountains. 100 yuan is enough to buy some rice and seeds. This is unbelievable. So I can only go up the mountain for mining. And this cow. Although he grew up in the countryside, he really hasn't led any cattle. Moreover, his family spoiled him, and he had never been allowed to do farm work. However, I have never done anything like catching fish and prawns and digging out bird eggs. After pondering for a while, Chen Zan has already determined the fate of the 3 professional cards. He glanced at the prestige value, his heart moved slightly, and the sound of the system rang in his ears. The designated occupation card is in effect, please confirm the occupation. Occupation has been determined. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Farmer, first glimpse of the door plus. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Beast Tamer, first glance plus. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Hunter, first peeking path plus. After determining his career, Chen Zan was promoted directly without saying a word. Farmer has been promoted to King. Beast Tamer has been promoted to the God level. Hunter has been promoted to Gold. Only then did he discover that the top titles of each profession are still different. The King Farmer. As a farmer, you are proficient in various farming tasks, and you can judge the specific situation based on the growth of the crops, not to mention raising cattle, chickens, and pigs. Even if the end of the world comes, you can survive under the ruins with your hands. God-level animal trainer. This allows you to communicate with animals without barriers, and get their approval, Sao Nian. Golden Hunter. The mountain is your back garden, and the forest is your second home. You are extremely sensitive to danger. You can find the habitat of beasts according to the environment. The traps you set up can easily catch the prey you want. You can climb a big tree in a very short time. Be able to. Your body has unparalleled explosive power. Chen Zan's mouth opened slightly. Farmer, is that strong? Can you feed yourself at the end of the world? What a mess. The abilities of the trainer and the hunter perfectly matched his inner imagination for the two. An animal trainer can communicate with animals without barriers, which is equivalent to knowing animal language. Ordinary animal trainers need to get familiar with animals for years and months, gain the trust of animals, and constantly repeat a password and an action to make the animals form memories. This method is complicated and difficult, and it also requires a lot of patience. And with the ability of a God-level beast trainer, you don't need such trouble. You only need to get close to the animal and touch the animal's head to clearly understand the animal's thoughts. In Chen Zan's opinion, the hunter's ability is even more perverted. With this ability, even if he is left in the mountains for a month, he will not die of starvation, and he can live very well. He continued to click on randomly triggered by fixed profession. Randomly triggered by fixed profession. Please select a profession to trigger. After thinking about it, Chen Zan chose the hunter. Randomly triggered by fixed profession. Triggering. Successful trigger. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Blessing of Dashan. Blessings of the mountains. When you walk in the mountains, you will get the blessings of the mountains. Note, there is a chance to trigger the reward. He stood up with a smile on his face, glanced at the buffalo, turned and walked towards the house. It's getting late, get some food first. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.